Hello, everyone, and welcome to another game review from Polytopia. Today, I'm going to be showing you quite an interesting game. It's from a monthly bullet that happened just a week ago. So, in host, you have me, I'm a player, and as away, you have Magoon, another very good player. So, first, I'm going to just quickly show you through the game review, quickly show you how the game went, and then I'm gonna show you what I could have done better, how I could have won, and how to learn from your mistakes, and hopefully you can learn something from this video. So let's begin. As per bullet rules, the host has to skip the first turn. So this is a Chin mirror. I go ahead and go into the mountains for the vision. So does my opponent. Very important to always go double warrior as Chinchi. My opponent is going onto the mountains to get a bunch of vision. Gets mining, upgrades. Go get more vision. I get mining in return. Upgrade. He gets a veteran swordsman next to my first city, first village. So in response, I know that that city is going to be captured next turn. I go for the ruin because I can get that at least. I get 10 stars from the ruin. And I quickly rush a giant. Here you go. Magoon can't see my giant yet, so not that. So you get organization to, because the top left city can't be upgraded otherwise. I heal my warrior because it's gonna take more resources for the warrior to die, but he heals it back. And now he starts seeing my giant and realizes he needs to go for the economy. So now my giant is heading straight towards his capital. But here I'm still at one city. His veteran swordsman just took away the city privileges. So I'm here and my giant is just my only counterplay. I mean, I have swordsman. Okay, he also sees my swordsman. He gets hunting. He's trying to, eco it out, get a giant as fast as possible because that giant is heading straight towards my city. Alright. He gets forestry, starts chopping everything because he realizes that very much he needs to raise his economy for a giant. Because remember that it's might. Going for the capital is not a bad idea because all you need is two capitals to win. The capital is what matters the most. So go for forestry and get another giant. He gets smithery. And obviously he can giant push next turn. Or he can giant push now by chopping everything. Which he does, I think. You go, he kills my warrior. and he chops everything to go ahead and get a giant, because he would lose a lot of stars once I siege his capital. Interestingly, he doesn't use the monument to gain stars to be able to afford a swordsman. Gets a mathematics rune, and we see why he didn't train a swordsman. He's going to get a giant here. It's a giant push. No, I'm applying all the pressure. No. So now we have an equal amount of giants. But he has 5 cities then, and I have only one, so I'm just screwed in the very beginning. You go, he's just upgrading now, and the rest of the game is just him completely destroying me, because he doesn't need to get worried about anything. He has 5 cities, I have only one. I can only do so much here. No play here is just so go. I push the giant to force him to use his catapult. Very nice. Forcing moves, I guess. Treat the swordsman. He's just going all in with the giant. He has pretty much nothing to fear, to be honest. He can get giants everywhere he wants. He's got math, he's got smithery. Very well played by my goon, just completely overthrowing me. Very good advantage of all the cities he has. Very nice. I can't. So here we go. He's just overpowering me now. I'm left to one giant. And he keeps upgrading, he takes it seriously. Which is nice. Even though he's completely winning. Again, I'm going for the catapult, forcing him to use it. But here, it just doesn't matter anymore whether he goes for the city or not. Because the capital is just what matters. And that giant cannot kill the swordsman by itself. And he gets another giant. So, here we go. The game's just pretty much over. He sieges next turn, and it's a good game. So, from the very beginning, you see the veteran swordsman rune was just so brutal. How do you counter that? I mean, you can't capture because it's just gonna die. The war, he's just gonna siege with the veteran swordsman, and you still lose the city. So the best play here is to, of course, go for the ruin. But what can you do here? What can you do here? I mean, I played so well, but I made 2 very crucial mistakes that made it the game. Made me not stand a chance, made it a 5v1. So, if I can spot the mistake, the very first mistake was on turn 7, and that is deciding where the giant goes. Because moving the giant up is a very logical move. I mean, you're heading towards the capital, right? You're you're going for the capital, and the capital is all that matters. But when it comes to having less cities, what's most important is that you apply a lot of pressure. You need to apply a lot of pressure on your opponent, and you need to make up the amount of little cities you have with just raw power, which is what the giant brings. But the problem with this giant is that it's just not enough. It's it's gonna take 1, 2, 3, 4 turns. It's gonna give my opponent 4 turns before getting to the actual capital. 4 turns. Your opponent, my opponent has lots of time to react to the giant, because they meet it on the same turn. They go, oh, I need economy, and my opponent had an extra turn there. I could have sieged, and they could have giant pushed at that time, but they decided to go for a turn early. The the better play was to apply more pressure, and the way you do that is by not going up towards the capital, but by going to the left towards the city of Shire, because there's a third city here, and now suddenly it's a 3 versus 3 city game. I've got the better eco. I've got way more pressure. I've got in one more turn. This city is way worse than this city, because this city has fruits, it has forest. It's gonna be way harder for my opponent to get a giant here than here. So whenever you're less at cities, try to apply as much pressure as possible. All right. Try to get power. Try to rush economy, because giants is the best way to get very quick power by unit production. So the second mistake I made was actually earlier in the game. So it was like over here on turn 3. And it was just a simple warrior move. So micro is also very important when it comes to tiny games, because where you place your units depends can sometimes depend on the entire game. So I placed my unit on the crop, trying to go for the mountain, which is not bad. But the problem with that is it disallows me to take the ruin. So my opponent went for the ruin, and if I went over here, I would have been able to take it. So the lesson you can take from here is to try and be more adaptive. Try to allow your units to do as much as they possibly can. Try to put them in the positions that they are maximally active. Because the mountain here is less important than the throne here. So next time you think of placing a unit somewhere, try to pick the best move for it. Try to pick it where, think about your opponent. Think where your opponent could be and the placement of your units. Very important. So this would have prevented the veteran swordsman in the first place, and it would have been a 3v3 city game. I have 3 mines, he has 2 in his capital. I would have probably won into the late game. But I lost because of 2 mistakes. I had 2 chances and I lost both of them. So hopefully from this video you can, find quite a bit of useful knowledge. After recapping the game recap, you hopefully learn something to either, apply more pressure when you have less cities, or to be more adaptive. So thank you for watching. Thank you for sticking out. And thank you. Goodbye.